I live in a small town named Mayward, where summer evenings are filled with the sounds of crickets and cicadas, and the sky turns a beautiful shade of gold. I like to think I live an ordinary life. I married my husband 2 years ago, and we've been happily married ever since. We've thought about having kids but haven't had any yet. We want to wait a few more years. Michael, my husband, works evening shifts at the chicken plant and usually gets home around 10 p.m. One night, I was getting ready for bed when my phone rang. It was Michael. I answered, and he said, "Hey babe, I'm not going to be coming home tonight. I just wanted to let you know I love you." "What do you mean you're not coming home?" I asked him, but the line went dead. I was worried, but my husband is a very strong and clever man, so I was sure he had to work a double shift and just had poor service in the factory. I took some sleeping pills to help me sleep that night, since I wasn't used to sleeping without him. The next morning, when I woke up, my husband still wasn't there. I called his phone, but there was no answer. I decided to wait a few hours before calling again or contacting the police. I was sure he was fine. However, when there was a knock at my door and a policeman stood behind it, my heart sank. "Mrs. Wilmington?" the policeman asked. "Yes," I replied with wide eyes, afraid of what he was about to say. "Mrs. Wilmington, I'm Officer Dawson, and I'm sorry to inform you, ma'am, but your husband was in a terrible head-on collision after running a stop sign last night. He was pronounced dead at the scene." I broke down into tears. Through my broken heart and clouded mind, my thoughts flickered to something: his phone call. "May I ask when this happened?" I inquired. "It was around 9:42 p.m., he responded. I pulled out my phone and checked the call log. I had received his call at 9:55 p.m. I broke down into tears again as Officer Dawson held me. "It will be all right," he said. "I had my husband's funeral 2 months ago, and I still don't know how to cope with his absence. The pain of losing him feels as fresh as it did that day." Adding to my confusion and grief is the fact that I received a call from him after the accident, and I still don't know how to explain it.